What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. Man, where could I begin? Where can it end? Dr. Julius Irving, better known to the world as Dr. J. Wow. And the Larry Bird beef, right? This thing gets blown out of proportion every year. People like, man, I want to know what went on with Dr. J and Larry Bird. Because they show it on like NBA TV, I think, and they show that the clips of the fight and a lot of things transpired during that time. Let me bring you guys up to speed a little bit about who these guys were. These guys were the top elite players in the league. There was no Michael Jordan. Let me let me advise you. There was no Michael Jordan. So imagine that. No Michael Jordan. They had the very first EA Sports game ever created. Dr. J and Larry Bird. In 1983, the video game 101 was out with Larry Bird and Julius Irving. Both guys were paid $25,000 each. That was big money then. To participate in an Atari 7800 video game. There was personal fouls, shot clocks, jump shots, fall away jump shots. You could even dunk and break the glass where the guy come out and curse you out, the janitor. And it was great. Playing one-on-one for the Apple II and the Atari 7800. If you had a Macintosh, it worked too. Or a Commodore 64. A lot of people had those. It was very well received. And it was the highest selling sports game ever for any computer system. They sold over 250,000 copies by the time 1989 hit, which led to the game Jordan versus Bird for the old Nintendo system. Now, Dr. J at this time was finally an NBA champion. This was the year that was shocking because a lot of people picked Boston to beat the 76ers. And that year, the 76ers smoked everybody and won the championship. And 83, whatever. And Dr. J finally got his NBA championship, and that was huge. Now, let me tell you some more things. Larry was a trash talker. The Larry Bird you see was a very humble man, but he also was a very avid trash talker. And that's what he did over and over again. He trash talk, trash talk, trash talk. And Larry was really ready to set the tone because they was ready. They were upset how the season ended the year prior. They were not happy as a team coming back. I think that might have even been a preseason game. I don't even think that was a regular season game. It might have been regular season. I'm going off the memory of the events. And that game, the person who you never hear about, everybody's talking about how uncharacteristic it was to see Dr. J, who has been one of the most, astute gentlemen of the league, lose his cool. He was the ambassador of the NBA at this time. So for him, this is like uncharacteristic. It was Dr. J loses his cool. Dr. J, what was he thinking? He attacked Larry Bird. No one, oh, well, that's how it is even today. I was going to say back then, but this is what happens now. People don't go back. They don't go back 10 steps. They don't go back 20 steps. They don't want to go back. All you have to do is take 2 steps back and say to yourself, okay, what happened before that? What happened before the plays that happened? Larry Bird was upset. He was called for an offensive foul. There was an offensive foul on Larry Bird that was called against him, and Bird never let it go. He was mad at the referees. He was cursing and yelling at the referees. He started trash talking all the 76ers, anybody in his vicinity, and Larry was mad. So anybody put a hand on him, Larry was slapping the hands down like he was ready to fight. So Larry Bird was in straight fight mode when this happened. Larry was the aggressor. Dr. J grabbed him by the neck because of all the stuff Larry was saying. And when Larry slapped Doc's hand down so aggressively, that's when Doc came with the 2 shots, and then that was all his involvement. The real culprit, and should have been talked about in this entire bout, was Moses Malone. Moses Malone almost did attempt murder out there. Moses Malone grabbed Larry Bird by the back of the neck, swung him around, and had 2 hands on Larry Bird's throat. I'm like, oh my God. If that happened now, you talking about banned from the league. If somebody did that to LeBron James and pinned him down like that, man, they talking banishment. I mean banished. But no, for him, it was entirely different. There was no banishment. All he got was a minor fine. Dr. J and Larry got the most. Larry was fined more than Moses. They got fined about, what, $7,800 apiece? Moses got like, what, a $5,000 fine? He wasn't there to break it up. He was there to attempt a homicide almost. He was grabbed Larry, flipped him over. I'm like, what is going on here? But see, people didn't realize Larry and Doc, well, Doc thought they were friends. They had Converse used to call them too, because they would always have, Magic was the ambassador for Converse on the West Coast, so they could never really get Magic. Magic was always booked, so it was real hard to get Magic Johnson. So when they was able to get it together, the only way they were able to do it is Larry said, well, Magic got to agree to do it in my house because I'm not coming to LA. He going to have to come out here by my house in Indiana. So he went out. Magic pulls up to a basketball court on Larry's property. So them to get that to go. They flew Magic out there. And that's how they able to get them to do this commercial, and then they ended up becoming friends. But Larry was very much not the show guy and not the real good with friends. So you might think you friends with Larry Bird, and Larry Bird be like, okay, yeah, we did a bunch of things. We had a good time doing that, but you ain't my friend. And That's how he thinks. He thinks of it as a war, a battle. We cool now, but when we hit the court, I don't know you. And if you ain't on my team, I don't really know you that tough. And that's how Larry played it. But they put Dr. J and Larry together because he's from Boston, he's from Philly. They're both on the East Coast. It's real easy to put them together. So Converse would pay money for events to throw those two and all different type of arrangements they would have. As Doc was the ambassador, Larry was the representation of the league from the East. You know, they want him to be the face of the league, and Doc was the older guy going out, and him and Larry together. You know, that was just the nature of building this NBA that took it from this little small thing like that used to be in the gym that was pretty cool to a multi-million-dollar business when Jordan took it to $1 billion business. And LeBron just effed it up. Now, besides all that, let's look at the spectrum of the entire layout. Dr. J, in my opinion, he was being embarrassed because Larry was getting all the accolades. Larry was getting more of the attention, and you know, Doc had his time, and he was at the end of his rope. He had just won the NBA championship. They were feeling good, and Boston wanted to send a message. But he was also, you know, feeling a little disrespected by the fact that they kept putting Larry in a situation because after that, that changed the whole perspective of Boston, and that changed everything. I'm serious. That changed everything. The battle had the battle cries have been waged. The war has been waged, and Philly would not be able to contend with Boston no more. That was it. They would never be able to beat Boston again. I mean, Larry was just taking apart Doc when they played again. It was not even fair. It was not even fair. I mean, they had two, three guys jumping out at Larry. And then when Doc go in for a dunk, it'd be four guys trying to tackle him down and bring him down. They were not playing out there. That wasn't basketball. That was annihilation. And it stayed like that throughout Doc's rest of his career. You know, I mean, Doc at that point, by the next year, he was like, that's it, I'm out. So when, you know, Jordan's coming in for his rookie year and, you know, and doing all this, Doc is leaving. You know, he's leaving the game. It's his final season, you know, he's getting out. So, you know, it wasn't too long after that Doc was out, but the rivalry at that point had, you know, subsided. And Charles Barkley was a rookie during that time when that fight took place. He was just coming in the league, and you know, if the coach would have believed in Barkley a little bit more in the playoffs, they would have actually probably went back to the finals. He waited a little too late and realized, oh my God, this kid is ready. I don't know what took him so long. Barkley was a force of nature. So, you know, that is what it is. So don't forget, man, support the page. Click the link in the description box. And definitely, if you like everything you heard here, hit the Cash App up and make a donation to the Cash App. Carcino is that name. And you could definitely subscribe to the page and hit the notification button and select all. That way you could try to get all of your notifications, and they should have no excuse not to send you your notification. I'm out.